Hi, my name is Joanne Rafalowski and I'm with the Ontario Horticultural Association. And today I'm at Griffins Greenhouses in Lakefield, Ontario. And Vikki's here with me and we're going to go through, Vikki will tell you a little bit about Griffins and then we'll do a walk through how you get through a garden center 101. So if you wanted to start.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you're here at Griffins. We're near Lakefield, Peterborough area, and we're in the Porthos. And we're a garden center that's open 10 months of the year. We take January and February off just to have a break. And so we welcome people in March through December to come to a good garden center, a family-owned operation. We've been doing it for about 43 years, so kind of have a good handle on what we're doing. And to come and just learn along with us and see what we have to offer and enjoy. And enjoying is one of the things we do in this garden that we're in right now. This is our display garden that we offer. It's around our natural irrigation pond, so it gives an opportunity for us to make a pretty space for the water we need for the gardens and the plants to grow well.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, we have a lot of people come and just enjoy and get ideas and see what container combinations we put together. And it's just a nice space just to wander and feel comfortable in a garden center. And that's maybe one of the things not everybody does feel comfortable is coming to a garden center. It's fast-paced. In May and June, you have to hold on to your hat when you're here because the parking lot is full. It is the time that everybody comes. So you want to feel that you maybe know where you're going when you come in, maybe have a list of what you're looking for. Sometimes it's always a good idea to do some research ahead of time or make a list. I'm actually encouraging people this time of year to walk through their garden and highlight, notate what they would like for next year, plants that did well, plants that didn't do well. I'm sure you've got some in your own garden that you'd like to repeat and maybe not.
Yeah, and when I was younger, I didn't always think of moving things if they weren't working, which is a good thing to do. But also, would it be good for them to take a picture on their phone and bring it into you to see this is the area I'm trying to plant or do something with?
Exactly, that's an excellent idea. Perhaps not on the long weekend in May. Maybe
what is a good time to come?
Well, if you're looking for a new garden plan or some ideas or want to bend the ear of a staff person at a good garden center, just to come Monday through Friday, generally not on a weekend. We're usually super busy on a weekend. April is a really good time to start preparing and planning for your planting you'll be doing in May. June, once the rush of May is over, June is always a little quieter for us. So coming in then, even if your garden center offers the option, I encourage people to email me a picture and some of their thoughts and ideas. And I can email back, and sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, a response and some general ideas or directions I would send them in. Then they've got some information for when they walk in a garden center.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And I know you also offer workshops. I've taken workshops here where if they're containers, say if you're ready for spring and you want to put something in, and you go through everything so people know, if it's shaded or if it's sun and shade or just full sun. And it's great, and they always look beautiful when they're finished. So.
Well, for some people, when you're doing a workshop, for some people it's a repeat of information they already know. But if you do it in a fashion that doesn't make them feel like they're hearing the same thing over and over again, and also for the folks who are new to gardening, that they're feeling like they're getting some information as well that they can take and work with. And so it's just a matter of finding that balance. And that's what we encourage people to do when they come into a garden center, is just ask questions. And no one here, and I've never been to a garden center where they roll their eyes at you if you ask a silly question. There really are no silly questions.
Especially when you're starting out.
Absolutely.
It's really difficult. So
it is, and it's hard to frame the question, know how to ask it exactly. And so, just start basically, say I'm new to gardening and we're embracing all new gardeners because we need them for our businesses. And we also want to encourage people to keep gardening. We're starting to get to a point where a lot of the landscapes at our homes are starting to look a lot of the same. So it's nice if people want to step outside the box, and we really want to encourage them to do that.
Well, that's great. And I know you sell like fresh herbs. You do workshops on that. So explain what the herbs do and everything. And vegetables. I know you have a lot of vegetables in the spring or late spring, early summer.
And when you walk in a garden center, most of us, and any of them that I've been into, and I go to a lot of them, just to compare, and friends of ours that are in the business, and just to have a look around. We've all got great signage for you, so you know where you're going when you walk in. The annuals are all clearly marked. The perennials are all clearly marked. The trees and shrubs, the herbs and vegetables. Water plants. We want you to be successful, so we're not going to send you on a wild goose chase looking around and not really knowing what you're looking at.
You want to show us some of the things that you have?
Sure, absolutely. We can do that.
Great. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at some perennials that are available.
It's September now, so perennials are not in their full swing here in our benches, but there's still lots of really pretty ones that people can plant until about the end of the month. I like to see them planted so the roots get established and they're not going into freeze up without a fully established set of roots. So people are still buying in the perennial section, and every good garden center, as I mentioned, will have a section that's dedicated to perennials, trees and shrubs, flowering shrubs, that sort of thing. So you'll be able to identify
really
that
healthy.
area.
They
Yeah,
look beautiful.
they're
Yeah.
ready to get out of their pots,
Yes.
for certain. And then
That's why I
aside,
have my purse.
very clever. So then aside from the perennial section, you'll then find an annual section, probably not too far away from there, because annuals and perennials really do go hand in hand. I really think a good flower bed has got a combination of both. A lot of people say, oh, I only do perennials or such, and it's like you need to have a few annuals in for some constant color. And this time of year in the fall, there are some really lovely ones you can still put in. So then annuals are up in this area, and one of the reasons why we separate the annuals from the perennials is to avoid confusion, because there are some plants that are really tricky. Like this one, for example, if I can show you. This is a fountain grass, and it's really popular this time of year for fall. Looks great,
Yeah.
and arrangements and such, has these nice little plumes to the top. The tag says it's perennial, but everything's a perennial somewhere, right? You live in Florida,
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Carolina, so the tags are pretty generic and basic. So a good garden center is going to be able to direct you. Have not put this in the perennial section because it says perennial, and then advise people when they're purchasing it or such that it is just an annual, because this is, I believe, if I read correctly, zone 7. So we're looking at this would go well in South Carolina, not here.
Well, that's
And
good to know.
so you do direct people to that and let them know that they're not accidentally buying what they think is a perennial. So having a section especially for that. Mums and asters, kale, they're all the same thing. We
Yeah.
keep them separated from the perennials so there's no misunderstanding or miscommunication. And then you're not feeling upset that you've done something wrong, that you feel you're having a gardening success.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think we've all learned a lot, and I want to really thank Vikki, and now I'm going to go shopping.